Indian cricket captain is possibly the most watched person in the country.
You will only get opportunities if you're good. And if you're not good, don't expect opportunities.
Is leadership acquired or leaders are born?
I don't think I was a born leader. Virat Kohli is practicing 3 hours. Sachin Tendulkar is practicing 3 hours. Why does he perform at that level and you don't?
In your case, one incident was the Greg Chappell incident.
When you get into this situation, you start thinking, have I done something wrong? A lot of people talk about the wickets, but people forgot the runs I scored.
275, 55 plus average.
55 average on those wickets as an opener.
I think I was to some extent instrumental to bring you to television when you retired.
There you were with Z then. What Dadagiri did to me was take me to the common man in the village.
When chips are down, the whole team could have looked up to you, said, Dada is still there.
Every time, whether I scored 100 or a Sachin scored 100 or a Rahul scored 100 or a Sehwag scored 100, the scoreboard said India won. Hi, I'm Saurav Ganguly. You watch me on Duologue with Barun Das, a very popular show on News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Thanks very much for tuning in to Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. You're watching News 9 from News from India and across the globe. As I present to you our first deep dive segment, we will delve into the struggle in Karnataka over the CM's chair. It seems like DK Shivakumar and his MLA supporters, his camp basically, are now in a huddle at a hotel in Bengaluru trying to discuss and strategize on how to step up pressure on the Congress High Command to see if he can get his turn finally. There seems to be a deadlock on who will be the next Chief Minister. Whether Siddaramaiah will vacate the seat for DK Shivakumar in between this term or not remains to be seen. We're going to take you through our panelists on that story. And also on our top story tonight is the Gujarat court debating that parents' consent must be there for love marriage, whatever age you are. If it's a love marriage, parents' consent should be there. This could soon be a law. We're going to take you through those details, what the Gujarat court has observed. And also on our top story tonight is Arvind Kejriwal and co. His Manish Sisodia, in fact K. Kavita as well, all discharged in the Delhi liquor policy case. As the Rouse Avenue court says, there was no solid evidence to prove them guilty. I'm going to take you through that detail and more. Headlines first. India's economy grew 7.8% in October-December from the same period a year earlier, down from an 8.4% expansion in the previous quarter. Relief for Kerala Story 2 makers as the High Court pauses single judge order on the release of the film. A week after surrendering, 6 Maoists, including top CPI Maoist leaders, Devuji and Sangram, meet Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy at the Secretariat today. A sudden weather shift triggers fresh snowfall in parts of Himachal Pradesh, bringing a sudden dip in temperatures across parts of Kulu district and Lahaul Valley. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah flies to Hubli to cheer for his cricket team, Jammu and Kashmir, that's playing a Ranji Trophy final against multiple teams in Karnataka. So he visits Karnataka only to support the Jammu and Kashmir team for the Ranji Trophy. Canadian Prime Minister Makani in India. He arrives in Mumbai early today. Hails India as the world's fastest growing economy, says visit will forge new ties and opportunities for Canadian workers and businesses, of course Indians in Canada as well. President Draupadi Murmu takes sortie in light combat air helicopter Prachand ahead of IAF's Vayu Shakti. President flies an indigenous combat chopper before Air Force's mega firepower exercise, and interesting to see President Murmu in the IAF, Indian Air Force gear, as she flies that chopper. Actor Rashmika Mandana and Vijay Deverakonda meet with the Prime Minister ahead of their wedding. In fact, the newlywed couple who tied the knot on Thursday seeks the Prime Minister's blessings a day after. All right, let's take you through our top story on the power struggle that's currently ensuing in Karnataka. The Karnataka power sharing question is back at the centre stage. Nearly 40 like-minded MLAs we hear and supporters who are believed to be aligned with Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar have met at a private hotel in Bengaluru. The huddle was to decide how to push the High Command, the Congress, to ensure DK Shivakumar becomes the Chief Minister. Of course, a cabinet expansion is also what they're mulling. The meet organized by MLA H.C. Balakrishna was to strategize on the ending. It was to strategize on ending the leadership uncertainty in the state and lobby for elevation for Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar to the Chief Minister's post. But this story did not begin today. Remember, after the Congress's decisive win in Karnataka 2023, quite a sweeping victory that they had, the assembly elections, a bitter tussle broke out over the Chief Minister's post. The deadlock was serious enough to threaten early instability within the Congress Karnataka government. At that stage, senior Congress leader and troubleshooter Randeep Surjewala flew in to Bengaluru to broker peace as well, but it seems like that has not ended. Even now, we're looking at friction. Even now, there's suspense whether there could be a chief ministerial change. Even now, DK Shivakumar is pushing hard. Even now, Siddaramaiah is digging in his heels. Now, according to the understanding as per reports that was negotiated at that time, November 20th, 2025, the halfway mark of the 5-year term would be the transition point. And that halfway mark is over. Siddaramaiah has completed halfway, but he hasn't yet stepped down. Siddaramaiah, of course, saying that he will continue as Chief Minister for the full term, while DK Shivakumar really upping the pressure. And this time, he has his loyalists who are in a huddle now at a hotel. They're discussing, in fact, we're going to show you those images where MLAs have come together, all DK Shivakumar supporters, if we can have that on our screens. DK Shivakumar supporters who have come together at a hotel to discuss on what next. Well, Siddaramaiah, of course, not giving up. There have been multiple interventions. There have been promises also made that you will get your turn to DK Shivakumar, but when? That's the question. The power tussle has flared up time and again. The group of MLAs now openly backing DK Shivakumar. So long, DK Shivakumar did not have more than 10-15 MLAs. Today, it seems like he has nearly 40 MLAs by his side. So DK Shivakumar at this point really throwing his weight, showing that he has the numbers with him. So it's a high-stake face-off in a sense. Can't really call it a battle because to the public and for the optics' sake, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah are great with each other in front of the cameras. Well, they are working together as well for the state, but at the end of it, one knows, who's seeing the Congress Karnataka government carefully, that there is a serious leadership tussle between the two internally. But nobody really openly speaks about it. Well, DK Shivakumar has echoed the sentiment, calling talk of factions a media creation. As much as there are questions raised whether they are not really compatible, he says these are just media creations. There's no faction as such. There's no Siddaramaiah, there's no DK faction. We're all united. We're all one Congress party. But the issue is, of course, not faded. And today, with the visuals of those MLAs coming together in a huddle, it proves for sure that DK Shivakumar is not giving up, and neither is Siddaramaiah. Well, the lobbying from the pro-DKS camp is on. Several MLAs arguing that ongoing speculation is affecting governance and party coercion. But supporters believing that a leadership change soon would help the Congress consolidate the 2028 assembly elections. That if DK is given charge as a chief minister, he could do wonders for the next upcoming elections. But does that really happen anywhere in that fashion? The High Command's position has consistently been that the government must function without public discord. The party is clearly trying to balance the two leaders, but it seems like it's failing because DK Shivakumar crops up yet again with his demand, this time with number of MLAs by his side. Satya Prakash, who's the Vice Chairperson and Spokesperson of the KPCC, joins us. Surabhi Hodigere, Spokesperson of BJP from Karnataka. Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, Senior Journalist. Thanks very much, all of you. Satya Prakash, as always, I'll start with you. What happened? As much as both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar say all is well, but these MLAs coming together, DK camp they call them, are looking like they're trying to put pressure on the Congress High Command for a change in leadership. If not, then DK has enough numbers. Earlier there was talk that DK does not have numbers, DK does not have numbers. See, today he has the numbers. At least these many MLAs are good enough to dent the Congress if they decide to move out. I don't know where, but well.
Good evening, Nabila. See, there are no camps in Congress. There is only one camp. That is called the Congress camp. No DK camp, no Siddaramaiah camp.
What, Satya Prakash? You don't have to be so diplomatic.
Yeah, I have to be diplomatic because I cannot be undiplomatic at this point of time.
No, we already have diplomatic leaders. No, DK and Siddaramaiah are already diplomatic in front of the media. You give us the inside story. Okay, how do you explain? Okay, how do you explain this image? How do you explain this image?
I will not give you any story. I will give you a full story.
Okay.
All 137 plus 3 MLAs, unfortunately 2 Congress MLAs have expired. Leading those 2, 135 plus 3, all the 138 MLAs are due to both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar ji. Very clear. Mr. DK Shivakumar, as the KPCC president, has struggled and given his 5-6 years hard work to bring Congress to power, along with our mass leader, Mr. Siddaramaiah. There is no doubt about it. As and when the CM's chair is vacant, Mr. DK Shivakumar becomes a natural choice to become the Chief Minister of the state. Let us not have any confusions on this also. Because he has put all necessary hard work required to become the Chief Minister of the state. But today the High Command has said very clearly that we will take a decision, you all keep quiet. The CM and DCM also have in 15 times said that the High Command has asked us to keep quiet. At an opportune time, the High Command will take a decision. Our High Command, Mr. ACC President, Mr. Kargeji, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition with Lok Sabha, and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, who happens to be our ex-president, have things in mind. And at an opportune time, they will call both the leaders and a decision will be taken. Right now, the CM's chair is not vacant, is all I can say. Now, if you are saying as and when it is vacant, definitely Mr. DK Shivakumar is a natural choice to fit in. There are other leaders also who are equally capable, but he stands first in the queue just because he was the KPCC.
Whatever you're just saying might just irk DK Shivakumar very much. You're saying other leaders are also capable.
Yeah.
But I thought you're saying it's naturally going to DK Shivakumar.
Politics is art of politics is art of possibilities. I am not I'm not a Baba to say when he will become chief minister, he will become a chief minister. I can only say what are the possibilities at this point of time. Mr. DK Shivakumar is a natural choice because he deserves it. We went into 2023 elections in the joint leadership of DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah. Siddaramaiah ji is presently the Chief Minister of the state. As and when vacancy arises, definitely Mr. DK Shivakumar will be the natural choice. But why I said there are others also, because we have enough capable leaders within Congress who are capable to become Chief Minister of State. There is no depth of leadership like BJP. BJP today has no leadership. Their leaders are saying, H.D. Kumaraswamy will be the next Chief Minister. So we have no depth of leadership. We have, I think, 5 to 6 senior leaders who can fill in that post as and when it is required.
But it's not the BJP who's in a huddle, no, it's your party in a huddle. So tell us, explain the photograph there. You have so many MLAs coming together, leaving governance behind. What are they doing in a hotel?
See, all the MLAs have the right to go for a dinner, have the right to meet in a church, like you all or I all meet. There's nothing wrong in meeting. And there, according to my thing, there were not 40 MLAs there. There were around 15 to 18 MLAs. You can see your own photograph.
Okay, so you're saying DK only has 15 to 18 MLAs in support of him. All right. Surabhi Hodigere, would you want to comment on that? How is this a problem? how is governance suffering in Karnataka? And what's this, how would you respond to Satya Prakash saying that the BJP itself is lacking leadership?
It is the ill fortune of the people of Karnataka that since the Congress came to power with a resounding mandate, the biggest story that has been in the media, as well as not because the media is pulling it up, but just like they say that there is no smoke without fire, it is the Congress MLAs and different camps themselves who keep coming out and giving statements that allude to the fact that there is a fight. And not just that, the DCM himself, who has multiple times made statements in favor of the fact that there is a power sharing agreement, something that he and Siddaramaiah know, internally. The fact that when Siddaramaiah made a statement that High Command has decided that 5 years it's going to be Mr. Siddaramaiah as Chief Minister, DK Shivakumar hits back saying that yes, Siddaramaiah is now the High Command in a very, in a mocking manner. The fact that there are social media battles by the DCM, CM openly, yet they come out in front of the media and say nothing is wrong. It is a misfortune of the Karnataka people that not governance, not the issues of the people, it is this fight for the chair that has been the dominant story for the last 2.5 years. And why does that impact governance? Well, Nabila, let me tell you something. From the time that the RCB stampede happened, from the time that 2 months of Grihalakshmi was skipped out because the DCM and the CM were busy blaming each other, there has been multiple administrative issues. And there is also word, not something that I can qualify or not, but rumors that have been going around that nobody in the administration, senior administrators, don't want to hedge their bet on either the CM or the DCM because they don't know the certainty of it. But let alone all of that, where governance is lacking is because all of these MLAs, all of the supporters of Mr. Shivakumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah, who must be focusing on their constituency, are now focusing on who's going to be the Chief Minister, who's not going to be the Chief Minister. I want to remind the audience through, this show that it is not the BJP, not the media that went to Delhi with the delegation of MLAs and came back and made statements saying that, look, we want this sorted out as soon as possible. It was Iqbal Hussain, it was the HC Balakrishna, it was these same MLAs. It was not the BJP or the media that comes out and posts saying that word power is world power. It is the Congress, it is the DCM. It is not the BJP or the media that constantly says November Kranti, September Kranti, after the budget session there will be something. It's the Congress MLAs that are constantly doing this. And by making this the dominant story that is coming out of Karnataka, it is definitely impacting governance, it is definitely impacting administration. And I want to remind the Congress spokesperson that yes, there is a direct link to it, because if you remember when Grihalakshmi incident happened and Ms. Lakshmi Hebalkar was asked to qualify why 2 months of the money that was supposed to go to women was not given, she looked at the finance ministry and said it's the finance ministry that has made this error. So you're not coordinating between your own ministries, you're not having conversation between your own ministries. It is a well-known open secret that there is a difference of opinion. And before you point towards the opposition party and say so, we are in opposition. We are not in, this is not a conversation about who the party president is. If it was merely about the Congress presidentship, why would we have cared? We care because this is a matter of governance, a matter about the chief minister's chair. Can you, Mr. Satya Prakash, I'll just end with this. Mr. Satya Prakash, can you with absolute clarity tell us, is Mr. Siddaramaiah going to be the chief minister till 2028? Election.
He said that more or less. He's saying that there's no vacancy now. Okay, yeah. Satya Prakash, a quick rebuttal before I go to our journalist.
Nabila, here is this BJP spokeswoman whose party from 2000 to 2013 to 2018.
You are in power now. There is a reason you are in power. Are you saying that you're also going to have 2 chief ministers?
Please wait, ma'am. Please listen to me. Have patience.
Are you alluding to the fact that you're also going to have 2 chief ministers this term?
Have some patience. Please.
No, but I mean, why do you keep pointing? You point one finger at us, 3 or 4 will point back at us.
One after the other.
Nabila, please ask him to have some respect.
Okay. Finish, Satya Prakash.
From the party, which from 2013 to 2028 had 3 CMs. Yediyurappa cried on that day that he was leaving office. We don't want lessons from a party which in 4 years, in the time from 2019 to 2023, had 2 chief ministers and was on the verge of having another chief minister. And we don't want lessons from a party who is sitting in opposition and have 3 MLAs disqualified for questioning the leadership. 3 MLAs are
That is
disqualified.
untrue. No, first and foremost, you talk about your party, sir. You're so involved in my party, you don't have the confidence to tell who's going to be the chief minister for the next 5 years. Are you
Prakash,
saying
the opposite. It is the opposition's duty to ask questions of the ruling government. You answer for yourself. You answer for yourself.
But look at the marks card of the opposition party.
Oh, so are you really going with that benchmark then? You want to go with that benchmark?
Yeah, tell them the history of the Congress party.
Okay, Dr. Basaraj, our senior journalist, if you can come in on that, sir. This tu-tu meme between the two parties will continue. Mr. Basaraj, could you tell us, what does it look to you? A whole bunch of MLAs who are in a huddle at a hotel. Last 2 days, there have been a lot of in and out of this hotel where MLAs of Siddaramaiah camp, quote unquote, this is what it's called, Siddaramaiah camp, and beg your pardon, DK Shivakumar camp. They're in a huddle trying to discuss cabinet expansion and also put pressure to have DK Shivakumar take the CM's post. But this is going on for quite a while now. It doesn't seem like there's any word from the Congress High Command, and the High Command is letting it boil. That's bringing a lot of bad name for the Congress too. What's happening?
Nabila, I see it as the latest episode in the episodic drama series which started in 2023 May. Because this kind of posturing, who is there for next 5 years, or is it power sharing, there is an agreement has been done or not, this has been being debated by party members, by the media for last almost 3 years, ever since Congress won the elections in 2023. But we have to understand, I'm just trying to understand my friend Mr. Satya Prakash's arguments. Obviously, I don't expect any party spokesperson to be undiplomatic. They will be diplomatic even at the cost of sounding fallacious also at times. But the point is, what was the question before the party high command in 2023? What is the question before party high command in 2026? It's the same thing. The question was not who is the most eligible candidate, who is the best experienced, what community, what caste. That was not the question. The question was, and question remains, what is the power sharing agreement, if at all there is one? Should Siddaramaiah continue, or should he make way for DK Shivakumar in this tenure of the government? Not sometime later, not in the next elections, in this election, because this mandate was won for the Congress with the joint efforts of Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. DK Shivakumar. Of course, the party people say, oh, everybody was involved. Correct. But these were the leaders that were very, very critical for the victory. That is why the tussle then, that's why the tussle now. But all these things, why not Dalit be chief minister? There are others who are eligible. They're all eligible. But that is not the question before the party high command. Number one. Number two, these number games that we're talking about. Siddaramaiah has so many MLAs, DK Shivakumar has so many MLAs. All these numbers do not matter at all. Because in Congress, most of the times, it's the high command that has the final word. It is not the numbers, it's not nothing. And at times, I've seen, if you go look at the Congress history, at times, this kind of factionalism on the grounds of caste or community or any kind of a factionalism has been counterproductive to leaders in Congress. The same Mr. Devaraj, whose record Siddaramaiah aspired to break, he himself was replaced by Gundu Rao because of this kind of very factionalism. So now that was one of the arguments when in November, like you said, when the halfway mark was reached. Argument was Siddaramaiah, surpassed the record of Devaraj as longest serving CM. So that happened. Then they said, let him present the budget. So DK Shivakumar and his supporters might find that this might go endlessly. So it's all in all fairness, they would have started some sort of lobbying with the party high command. Or DK Shivakumar might deny it. But DK Shivakumar, he himself has been vocal about it, that, if everything fails, my prayers will be answered. And many times he has said, there has been an agreement. And whether it has been agreement or not, so far, neither the party high command, nor Siddaramaiah, nor DK Shivakumar have denied that there was an agreement. They have not denied it. They have only evaded the question, but they have not denied it. So in all, practicality, we have to take it that there is an agreement, And the question is how that agreement is going to be respected, how that pans out. Because at one side you have Mr. Siddaramaiah and his supporters who are holding party high command to the ransom.
But I'm
saying
sorry,
that if he is replaced.
Dr. Basuraj, you're saying an agreement. I highly doubt there's any formal agreement. It could have been a a promise that yes, you will be given the chair after 2.5 years. Ensure the government functions smoothly. But does that mean the High Command should and must honor it? Does that how politics
There's
work?
no agreement on that. It's a gentleman's word. And that's exactly why DK Shivakumar was insistent.
I've never seen a gentleman's word being honored in politics, Dr. Basuraj. Where has it ever?
It was not, but eventually, what kind of optics it projects.
Okay, so it's basically eroding trust. Trust in the word that the man DK had on the Congress, that is lost, and he's obviously getting frustrated now. But do you believe there was an agreement? Lots of people say that this is false. It was just DK insisting and then the Congress saying we'll see. But was there a promise?
Has anybody denied that there has been an agreement, even if it's oral? Has anybody denied? Has Siddaramaiah denied it? Has DK Shivakumar denied it? Has party high command denied it? There has been discussion, so many discussions on media, so many MLAs made statements, so many ministers made statements, but has the party high command denied? That's the problem. If the party high command has to come out and say, yes, there was no agreement like that, the controversy is put to rest. But nobody has denied it.
Now, you know what's happening in the midst of all of this? That the cabinet expansion is also not happening because of this tension.
Cabinet expansion will not happen, Nabila, as far as I know, unless a decision is taken on change of power, change of chief minister.
Is that so?
It is linked. No change will happen. Even the Congress KPCC president's post will not change. Even the cabinet will not be expanded, because the moment you give a concurrence for cabinet expansion, that means that DK Shivakumar shall not become chief minister. So that gives a finality. So Congress, when High Command allows for cabinet expansion, I will take it that DK Shivakumar will not be CM. So DK Shivakumar was very clear, because if there is going to be a new chief minister, there is no point in cabinet expansion, because cabinet anyways is dissolved.
Okay, a quick and final word, Satya Prakash. Why is there no cabinet expansion? Let's forget about the CM tussle. Cabinet expansion should happen. Usually happens in any party winning a state. Usually they shuffle, power between MLAs for the second half.
I have to thank my opposition, all the media, for patiently waiting for 2 years, nearly 8 months or nearly 10 months. Okay, nothing has happened right from the first year. People have been telling. That's okay. You please wait for another 15 days to 1 month. As soon as the budget is over, I think budget will be somewhere on March 3rd or March 5th. The AICC president has told many of the MLAs who have visited them that we are going to take a decision. We are going to call both of them. Let the cabinet budget be over. Don't worry. The decision, as important as this, cannot be taken in a hurry. The pros and cons will be, weighed by the High Command, and we will take a very, very mature decision in the interest of the people of Karnataka, and we will take a decision which all our MLAs will be happy with. And both leaders, Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. DK Shivakumar, are two eyes of this party. Our focus is on winning 2028 election. Let me make it very clear. We are
to focus on that when you're not able to focus on current governance. How are you going to convince people that you should vote for the Congress when people are looking at this joke where there's such a power tussle happening and MLAs are going this side, that side, Delhi back, Delhi back? You think people are not registering all of this?
See, we have seen a BJP government with the 3 chief ministers.
Sir, may I come in, Nabila?
Yeah. Government with the 2 chief ministers in 4 years.
Nabila, nothing has happened. Satya Prakash sir said nothing has happened. You're very right. No governance has happened. No good administration. Sir, she said I can speak now. She said I can speak now. Please,
yeah, I barely have a minute. Let's have Surabhi respond to that.
Please, may I? Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened on the governance front, on the administration front. on the front of solving people's issues. That is what nothing has happened means. Mr. Satyaprakash sir, I've been asked to speak. Now, the same Congress spokesperson who told us that no, this is all media creation, this is entirely the BJP and the media making it up, is accepting today after budget things will get sorted out. We've been hearing this for the last 1.5 years, things will get sorted out, but here is a Congress High Command, which first and foremost Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge himself said no, the High Command will decide when he's the sitting party president. The High Command has no clarity. They have a history in the last 10 years of not being able to solve any sort of factionalism within their own party. So really Karnataka is bracing for this never-ending OTT series, never-ending series of this tussle and this battle. And in the midst of all of this is the people of Karnataka who are suffering, is the governance in Karnataka who are suffering. For the sake of the people of Karnataka, we really hope that the Congress is able to resolve and give us a 5-year term where opposition can also focus on the issues, not on the Congress's internal fighting.
Okay.
It pains me that I have to come for this debate again and again. Mr. Satyaprakash sir, please sort it out so we can debate issues.
Nafisa,
I'm also tired of the same
Karnataka
thing.
will not give a chance to casteist JDS and communal
Sir,
BJP.
please let us talk about issues. You are thinking about winning 2028. We are thinking about the people of Karnataka, sir. You are thinking about winning 2028. That's it. We are thinking about people of Karnataka. You still have 2.5 years. At least 1.5 years of proper administration.
Satyaprakash, if you think the people are voters are fools, they are seeing very closely. They've given you a resounding mandate. The people of Karnataka have given the Congress a resounding mandate. The Congress should respect that. And if anything, the High Command should understand how to strategically calm tempers and, ensure that the factions and factionalism is settled at the earliest. If they fail, then it's the biggest failure for the Congress because they failed in multiple other states. They're not able to hold factions.
Congress party, Nabila ji, don't talk on behalf of Congress party. Not even one MLA has been put out by Congress party in the state. Whereas BJP has suspended 3 BJP MLAs.
God,
now you tell me which party is
and
in control of High Command?
You are saying that this is discipline. Your party constantly Your minister
Karnataka Congress is one of the 2 states that the Congress is in power in this country. So you got to hold on to it tight. Satyaprakash, you and the Congress High Command know this very well. I really appreciate, that's all I have time for, all of you joining us here tonight. Thank you. Let's hope this is sorted soon enough. All right, a quick break. We'll be right back. On the other side, Gujarat High Court suggests that love marriage now needs parental consent, no matter what age you are. I'm going to take you through that news on the other side.
वकील साहब अच्छी खासी प्रैक्टिस है, नया फील्ड में क्यों जाना?
सिस्टर, देश का सोच रहे
और इसके फ्यूचर का नहीं सोच रहे।
SBI लाइफ से अपनी बेटी का फ्यूचर सिक्योर है,
तभी तो इनको अपने इरादे पूरे करने का राइट है।
करो पूरे अपने इरादे,
अपनों से किए सभी वादे,
SBI लाइफ अपने लिए,
अपनों के लिए।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कर आता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया। बुझने लगे किसी की उमंग तो उसको तरंग दो, दुनिया को रंग दो।
बिरला ओपस पेंट्स।
Well, I'm all set to explore this beautiful country. Hi, hello, namaste, salam. This is your host Ruchira and I welcome you all in the brand new season, Uzbekistan.
Welcome back. Very interesting story that's come up days ago in Gujarat. It seems like a a verdict was given at the Gujarat High Court that really shakes us. Gujarat, where a proposed change to marriage law is stirring a national debate on autonomy, parental authority and women's rights. Despite constitutional protections and Supreme Court rulings upholding the right of consenting adults to marry freely, the Gujarat government now is considering amendments to the Gujarat Registration of Marriages Act of 2026. In that proposal, it could require couples to declare whether their parents have been informed about their love marriage at the time of registering the marriage. Basically, parental consent for love marriage could be made mandatory in Gujarat. It effectively makes parental awareness a central element here in the process of marriage. Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister of Gujarat, Harsh Sanghavi, defended this move, claiming innocent girls are being trapped and warning that such practices are spreading like termites in the society. He argues that the state cannot ignore the issue. Supporters say that the step could help prevent coercion, fraud, exploitation in marriages. Critics warn that it risks undermining the autonomy and privacy of consenting adults. If you're two adults and you're consenting, do you really need parental consent? What if they're not approving of it? Then you don't go ahead with the marriage at all? Is that the society that we want to go forward with? Particularly women. It could create barriers for interfaith, intercaste marriages, of course. We know Indian parents by and large do not agree so easily to interfaith, intercaste marriages. So now with this law coming into effect, imagine what happens. If parents say no, then what happens? Could the marriage then be not allowed at all? Well, we've got to see what the law really says. But the question here is, should the state step into personal relationships in the name of protection? Well, even as we're looking at this, in a way, regressive law that could be coming into play in Gujarat, there's another development that's come from Gujarat itself. And that's added a lot more fuel to this conversation around women's rights and marital accountability. The Gujarat High Court has set aside the conviction of a man who had been sentenced to 1 year of cruelty and 7 years for abatement of his wife's suicide in 1996 case. The court held that a single incident where the husband allegedly slapped his wife for staying overnight at her parental home without informing him would not by itself constitute to cruelty under law. It noted there were no prior complaints of physical abuse against the man and the couple continued to live together. So just because he slapped her once, it does not amount to cruelty. That lady died by suicide eventually. Evidence has showed the husband performed banjo at marriage ceremonies late into the night to earn additional income. His wife reportedly objected to his late night returns, leading to frequent disputes. According to the prosecution, the woman had been married for about a year and lived in Sarigam, Paharpada. It was alleged that she faced mental and physical cruelty that eventually drove her to suicide in 1996. Justice Geeta Gopi allowed the appeal and quashed the 2003 trial court judgment, ruling that the evidence did not establish sustained cruelty, that the man was not proven to be a cruel husband. The ruling underscores a critical legal threshold. Domestic violence is punishable. Section 498A requires proof of consistent and grave harassment, not an isolated altercation. Prosecutors argue the woman in this case endured severe mental and physical harassment that eventually led to the death. The High Court found the evidence insufficient but to sustain this conviction and let off the man. Two difficult questions here that confronts us. Should the state insert parental oversight into adult marriages in the name of protection? And in cases of domestic conflict and suicide, where does accountability truly lie? Rekha Agarwal, who is a women's rights activist and advocate of the Supreme Court, joining us. We also have Barkat Rehan, activist and president of Purush Ayog, a men's rights activist. Thanks very much, both of you. Rekha, your take on this, on first of all, parental consent in love marriages. It's beyond me on how a law can come about so regressive that takes away all the autonomy of consenting adults.
Absolutely no. My answer to that is absolutely no. The Constitution does not permit such kind of interference by the parents in their sons or daughters' decision to marry a particular person of their choice. Article 14 guarantees equality, so there can be no difference. A parent cannot be put at a higher pedestal than a child, and there can be no discrimination on the ground of age. Also, there can be no discrimination on the ground of caste, color, sex, etc. But at the same time, even age So just because you're a parent, you cannot interfere in the personal choice of your children once the daughter is 18 years of age and the son is 21 years of age. So a man and a woman, if they decide to marry, if they meet that threshold of 18 and 21, the law permits it. In fact, the law permits you to vote after the age of 18. The law permits you to buy property. And the law even permits you to marry the person of your choice. So where can such a kind of laws be justified? I do appreciate the sentiment behind it, that they want to protect, some violence in the name of marriages, particularly such kind of violence cases we heard of, love jihad, etc. All those crimes which take place under the garb of justifying that we are trying to protect our religion, or our daughter or our son is being, they're being forced to convert to another religion. That is fair enough. But there can be other ways of preventing that to ensure that such a thing does not happen. But as far as choice to marry is concerned, protection is one thing. But regulating the child's decision, or at 18 years you're no longer a child. So you cannot stop an adult person, whether he's your daughter or whether she's your daughter or whether he's your son, from marrying the person of your choice. So such kind of regulations by the Gujarat government are absolutely regressive, and they will not withstand constitutional scrutiny by the Honorable Supreme Court if it is challenged in the Gujarat High Court or the Supreme Court of India.
Rekha, it's interesting you said love jihad. Let me tell you that the government of India itself has said that there is nothing called love jihad. They themselves have said there is nothing called love jihad. And what is this term love jihad? It's created by some extremist activists themselves. I'm not saying there aren't cases of coercion. There could very well be cases of coercion. But here, in this very case, factoring in something like a love jihad and making a law saying that unless and until your parents agree, you already have there are already inter-religious marriage act. How does that work? There are already restrictions,
yes.
Right? If there are two people of two different religions marrying,
Special marriage.
Yes, special marriage act is already there, where there are already questions being asked. So you're doing one round of filtering. Then what's this new thing of parental consent? And women are getting trapped. Excuse me. I mean, this is in every way trying to discourage, a decision made by two consenting adults, two adults who know well.
And Special Marriage Act is itself allowing interfaith marriages.
Exactly.
So such kind of a regulation is going to go totally contrary to the Special Marriage Act, which is a central act. No. So any such kind of regulation.
Parents say no.
Yes.
How does that work? If parents say no, and forget intercaste marriage, forget interreligious marriage. Parents have a habit of saying no to all kinds of love marriage.
Yes,
they love it when they themselves hand pick and choose and give you the boy or girl, right? Parents enjoy that. It's nice. Beautiful families have been built with that institution and that mindset. But a lot of times it goes wrong. Now you have increasingly love marriage happening, and parents are also very happy with it. They're like, you find someone, get married happy and
their own choice.
But there is a
later on
large section of the society in India still don't believe in love marriage. We've got to agree with that. So this then becomes a very deadly law.
Absolutely, and I think that this is really going to absolutely put us back a few steps where our progress is concerned, where our own personal progress is concerned. We are there to evolve ourselves as good human beings, not be kind of compartmentalized by the choices of our parents. With utmost respect to the parents, I'm a parent myself, so I think that parents have done their bits. They have grown, given you the right education. They've given you the right maintenance, medical needs. They provided you a house. But after you come to the age of 18, they have to let go. It's probably it's like the clinging syndrome. And the parents probably suffer from that empty nest syndrome, and they want to kind of have that power, the reins in their hand, and they probably feel that they're doing good. But yes, as I said, that with utmost respect to the parents, and I don't understand how the state in this manner, the Gujarat state, is going to protect the girls and the boys from going in the wrong direction. Rather, this is going to make their lives even more miserable, because once the parent says no, then does the registrar still have the power to go ahead with the marriage? Then if he has the power, then what is the need of such a regulation in the first place? And if he has to say no,
I'm actually thinking how much manipulation can go into this.
Yes,
imagine how much the couple will have to go crazy trying to convince their family.
Yes.
That kind of manipulation is another level of manipulation.
Absolutely.
That is also coercion, by the way.
Yes, that is also coercion. I mean, you're giving with one hand and taking with another. You're probably causing more insult to injury.
Yeah.
I think that this should be absolutely struck down. It is absolutely unconstitutional, arbitrary, and against the very tenets of the Constitution. That's our Bible. That's our. We survive. We're a democratic country. We're not like a neighboring countries. Where it's like there's nobody's dictate which works over here. It's
Barka, what's your view on this?
Firstly, I don't agree with too much of interference. I don't know why we are living in the 21st century and these adults, they can marry. Yes, I believe that they should keep their parents in the loop. But I don't think so that there should be a law for this, that is all, nothing required here. But again, we should focus on the divorce. The divorce cases are rising and we should think how the couple can have a better understanding of compatibility, how to develop that instead of doing this or educating both the boys and the girls how to enter the marriage and be responsible, build a sort of environment where you feel comfortable and you are a role model for other boys and girls who want to marry. Rather than doing all this, we are interfering a lot with the adults. It is their choice whom they want to marry. And even if the love jihad cases, which Rekha ji said, yes, I agree, these cases, they hide their identities. Boys and girls, I have both cases where boys and girls both have hid their identity and then married, and after that there was a lot of problem. So if they tell the parents are really experienced and there's a broader
there are courts for that, right? There are courts for that to establish that you manipulated and cheated and got married. Court has enough sections to trap you under the law for cheating and deceiving a person, your spouse. So the law takes care of it.
Do it afterwards. Do it before.
With a law like this.
If the parents
with
want
a law
to
like
check
this.
the background, do it before.
With a law like this.
You're
saying a law like this is needed. Is that what you're saying?
No. I didn't say a law like this is needed. I said no. The consenting adults can marry without telling their parents.
Okay, so then what do you mean by do it before?
Yeah, I meant that yes, you should keep your parents in loop. So that's such
absolutely,
cases
absolutely. I think that's one thing that Indian society is not just. There are a lot of good things that parents have taught us, and one thing that they're also I think parents usually tell their children to let them know as to what they're up to, and it's most often that's the case, right? That they're always in the loop. It's not like they're not in the loop. I think we should give some credit to young adults today, right? They tell their parents. The parents may not agree, but they tell their parents. Yeah, they tell their parents. Okay, a quick word. Barka, a quick word. Our second case here, which is again, we look at it as regressive. The Gujarat court has let go of a man who slapped his wife because she stayed in her in-laws' house or in her mother's house without his permission, and eventually she died by suicide. There's also talk, the case was that she was mentally harassed for years, but the court did not find established evidence saying that just that one slap does not really mean that he abated her suicide. What's your take on that?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I have studied the case. Here it is not only they both used to quarrel a lot. They had many fights, and in one instance, when she went to her place and she didn't inform, the husband slapped her. But the cruelty
In the Delhi liquor policy case, a big win for them, but it's in the Rouse Avenue court. Nearly 2 years, in fact, just 2 years after the arrest, a Delhi court has discharged former Delhi Chief Minister and AAP Chief Arvind Kejriwal, along with Delhi's former Deputy CM Manish Sisodia, in the liquor policy alleged corruption case. In fact, all 23 accused in the matter have been discharged. The court came down heavily on the CBI today, flagging serious lapses in the probe, saying the bulky charge sheet was riddled with gaps and unsupported by witness statements. In fact, the judge said there was no prima facie case and that Kejriwal was named without any solid material. After the verdict, a visibly emotional Arvind Kejriwal, calling the case politically motivated, was seen talking to the cameras. He was in fact literally almost crying, tears in his eyes, if we could show that on our cameras. Meanwhile, the CBI has now moved the Delhi High Court, challenging the trial court order, arguing that key points were ignored at the stage of framing these charges. Remember, Kejriwal was arrested in March 2024 in the liquor policy case, becoming the first sitting chief minister to be arrested in the country. The 4-year-long case saw several AAP leaders jailed and is believed to have dented the party in last year's assembly polls. The political tremors from the Delhi excise verdict has now had ripples beyond the courtroom, as the Congress has now lashed out at the ruling BJP, alleging that Arvind Kejriwal's discharge was timed against the backdrop of the Gujarat and Punjab elections. Kejriwal, who had briefly allied with the Congress ahead of the 2024 general elections, hit back at his former ally, accusing it of having no shame and drawing a contrast between AAP leaders going to jail and the Congress High Command remaining out of legal clutch. But not just the AAP leaders, of course, K. Kavita of the BRS, formerly with the BRS, also very happy with this verdict. She also spoke to the media, extremely ecstatic and saying this was politically motivated. She knew from day one and she was very happy that she's discharged as well. Now, in politics, yesterday's rivals can become today's allies. Tamil Nadu is once again proving that truth. Just months ahead of the assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, expelled AIADMK leader O. Pannirselvam has crossed over to the DMK, the AIADMK's arch rival. In fact, OPS was formally inducted into the party in the presence of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and senior DMK leaders. His son P. Ravindranath Kumar also joined the party. There's also talk that DMK might field his son because Pannirselvam is right now 74 years of age. The veteran leader may or may not contest, but his son is likely to get a ticket, is what we hear. The shift did not come out of the blue. Certainly, for months, OPS had been signaling a political realignment, meeting Stalin and openly praising his government because AIADMK had ousted him, so there was no way for him to come back to a party, to that party. He said he will not join any party after that, but well, days later, he is now formally joined the DMK. After joining DMK, Pannirselvam said Stalin stands firm in safeguarding the Dravidian ideology. He said he would work in full confidence and obedience to the chief minister. OPS has also claimed that no force in today's politics can defeat the DMK. Remember, this is the same man who's really led the AIADMK with J. Jayalalitha against the DMK party. But today he's with the DMK. Well, it seems like ahead of elections, the former leader of the AIADMK wanted a party where he could see a future with, and he sees DMK as that party. OPS has trained his guns also on EPS, accusing him of running the AIADMK in an authoritarian manner and blocking leadership from emerging in southern Tamil Nadu. He's alleged the party has lost its inclusive character and internal democracy. Remember, EPS had categorically ruled out OPS's return to AIADMK, even while welcoming TTV Dinakaran back into the broader NDA fold. Well, we are going to see what happens next in Tamil Nadu elections. All right, now some serious allegations against actor Vijay, actor, politician and Tamilaga Vetri Karagam. TVK chief Vijay, an actor, is facing personal turbulence with his wife Sangeeta Sorna Lingam. In fact, Vijay's wife Sangeeta Sorna Lingam has moved court seeking divorce in Tamil Nadu. Sangeeta has filed a petition before the family court in Chengalpattu accusing Vijay of cruelty and infidelity. She has alleged that he was involved in an extramarital relationship with an actress, not naming the actress here, but she says with an actress, and has now sought dissolution of their marriage on these grounds. According to the petition, Sangeeta claims that she became aware of the alleged relationship in 2021 itself. She says Vijay initially assured her that he would end the relationship but later continued it, causing her prolonged emotional distress. The petition has also stated that Vijay continued to travel and attend public events with that said actress, with photos from these outings appearing on social media. Sangeeta claims Vijay neither denied nor objected to these posts and that public exposure caused repeated humiliation to her and her children, eventually forcing her to seek legal separation. She's also sought the right to stay in the matrimonial home and permanent alimony. Vijay and Sangeeta have been married since 1999 and have 2 children together. The court has now summoned Vijay to appear on April 20th on this. The actor turned politician has not issued any official response so far. The legal battle now places a spotlight on Vijay's personal life, just at a time when he's making his debut into the political journey, with Tamil Nadu elections barely weeks ahead. In a big move aimed at cracking down on rising school fees, Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has directed officials to frame rules to cancel the permits of those private schools that charge fees beyond prescribed norms. If you're charging high fees, then as a private school, you could lose your license. Telangana Chief Minister mulling over that. A high-level review meeting on education held in Hyderabad. The Chief Minister also holds the education portfolio, so he's made it quite clear that institutions violating fee regulations will face strict action, including cancellation of recognition and recovery of excess amounts collected from parents. The move comes amid growing outrage from parents across the state over steep and frequent fee hikes by private schools. Many have been demanding urgent government intervention to regulate what they call an unchecked fee structure. The Chief Minister has also instructed officials to create an online mechanism where citizens can submit suggestions and recommendations on fee regulation. Notably, the Telangana Education Commission had recently proposed a dedicated law and an exclusive regulatory body to oversee fee structures in private colleges and schools in Telangana. Now, with pressure mounting, the government appears to set some tight rules. And it seems like one of them is to cancel the license of private schools that charge high fees. Ahead of the festive season, the Uttar Pradesh Food Safety and Drug Administration has stepped up raids across the state to stop unsafe, adulterated food reaching consumers. In Lucknow, a crackdown at Haldiram's warehouse in Fazulaganj area has uncovered 1 quintal, 12 kilograms of expired Son Papdi and Rajbhog, valued at around 45,000. Those boxes were seized. Haldiram is widely regarded as one of the most trusted food brands in the country, making the recovery all the more concerning. The expired stock had been stockpiled for sale and was destroyed right there on the spot by those officials. Samples of sweets, including peda, rasgulla, gulab jamun, petha and gujia, were all sent for laboratory testing after that. FSDA teams also seized around 10,415 kilograms of fungus-infected black pepper and koya in the city, estimated to be worth 55.9 lakh. In fact, this is in a separate raid, also in a larger bust. What the officials have found, apart from Haldiram's, they're going now looking at various outlets, not of Haldiram's alone, but other manufacturers of koya, of black pepper, and they found some really infected material which they've seized and destroyed. In Ghaziabad, officials seized 1,200 kilograms of paneer suspected to be adulterated, worth about 3.8 lakhs. In Barabanki, contaminated koya, milk, spices, kachri papad and shina were all disposed of after they found it unfit for consumption. In Kanpur, officials intercepted 900 kilograms of koya at the Panki railway station being transported in unhygienic conditions. The consignment was sent for safe disposal to prevent it from entering the food supply chain. Officials say that the drive will continue through the festive period with strict action against anyone found selling expired adulterated food. All right, a quick look at some fake ED raids. Shocking. In a case that sounds straight out of a crime thriller, a housemaid allegedly staged a fake ED raid at an elderly couple's residence in New Friends Colony, South Delhi. Imagine. They made away with nearly 3 to 4 lakhs in cash and valuables. They pretended to be ED officials, and one of the accused was a maid at those owner's house. The incident took place Feb 11th when 3 men in police uniforms entered the house of 86-year-old couple claiming to be ED officers. The family were threatened, their mobile phones were taken away, and they were confined to a room while the accused staged a fake search operation. Under threat, the pressure there, the family placed a bag containing around 10 to 12 lakhs on the dining table. The plan began to unravel when the victim's grandson, who is a real ED lawyer, was alerted. Realizing that a genuine ED official had been contacted, the accused panicked and fled the house with part of the cash worth around 4 lakhs and several valuables. Police investigations revealed that their housemaid Rekha Devi was the real mastermind behind the plot, assisted by her sister-in-law Pooja Rajput and 4 relatives. During the searches at accused residence, police recovered an ITBP deputy commandant uniform, an ID card, wireless device, 7 luxury watches, jewellery, pistol with expired license. The maid has reportedly admitted to planning the fake raid after noticing that the elderly couple was often alone at home and probably knew that there was cash. Both the women have been arrested, while 3 men, including serving ITBP personnel and an retired army man, are still absconding. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great weekend.
You define a concept called against all odds.
The first and foremost is a overwhelming desire to win.
Does fortune favor the brave?
Oh, by a long shot. No guts, no glory, no pain, no gain.
My understanding of sportsmanship is playing with the spirit, and gamesmanship is where you're leveraging the margins of the rule.
People are not going to remember you by the losses. They're going to remember you by the wins.
By the wins. The single reason for your loss is that the lack of killer punch in you.
To this day, I have won more tour titles than any other Asian.
What would require a Vijay Amritraj to lead the way again?
Okay.
I think sports is the panacea. Sports is the ultimate solution.
I served the United Nations for 7 years as a messenger of peace alongside Muhammad Ali. He always said that boxing was a journey for him to be able to deliver what he needed to deliver.
Failures are the greatest teachers.
I've always looked at the cup half full, and as far as I'm concerned, my life has given me so much that I always feel that the cup has been overflowing. Whenever people ask me in the US, am I Republican or Democrat, I always say I'm Indian.
Well, I'm all set to explore this beautiful country. Hi, hello, namaste, salom. This is your host Ruchira, and I welcome you all in the brand new season, Uzbekistan.
News 9, always on point, no noise.
How the dragon is leveraging US tariff pressure to rewrite World Trade Order. Beijing aims global dominance.
That was a very strong attack.
Only sharp power matter to you.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
India's economy grew 7.8% in October-December from the same period a year earlier, down from an 8.4% expansion in the previous quarter. Major relief for the Kerala Story 2 filmmakers as the High Court pauses the single judge order on the release of the film. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah flies to Hubli to cheer the cricket team in the Ranji Trophy final as the visitor team eyes a historic victory. A sudden weather shift triggers fresh snowfall in parts of Himachal Pradesh, bringing a sudden dip in temperatures across parts of Kullu district and the Lahaul Valley. The Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney arrives in Mumbai, hails India as the world's fastest growing economy, says this visit will forge new ties and opportunities for Canadian workers and businesses. Our top focus this news wheel. Arvind Kejriwal, the country's first sitting chief minister to be arrested whilst in office, struggled to contain his emotions today after being cleared of all charges. We're talking about the excise policy case that had defined his political life for nearly 2 years. Now, a Delhi court discharged Arvind Kejriwal, his deputy chief minister Manish Sisodia, and 21 others in the politically sensitive excise policy case, concluding that the CBI failed to establish even a prima facie case of policy manipulation.